Hello, I'm back here again on my hardcore island. Between this part and last part, I've been doing a tiny bit of work, uh, widening this place a tiny bit, and I added in, or I filled in one layer. This was one block lower, so I filled that in, and I did some gradual sloping along here because it was more like this, with like nearly straight down, but I've made it a bit more sloped out, so this farm will eventually creep up this way. And I've done a lot of material gathering for the project, the build for this video, which is the main thing. So I have hopefully all my materials here. I needed more cobblestone, so I went mining at, I think it was Y16 to get the most iron out of it. So yeah, I think it's time we just jump straight in, cover the materials I've gathered, and start building. So let's go. Doing some building, and I'm just stopping for the moment because I do not have the resources to do what I want to. Because I've decided to use packed mud and the mud bricks, and my farm is very lacking. So I do want to spend time expanding the farm, which I have done a tiny bit here. I do need more iron, so I might start mining. But it might be a good idea to set up the start of a farm, like one of the redstone ones, out this way. Maybe a sugarcane farm or a farm for the kelp, so that I don't have to spend ages waiting on them. Now, most of the stuff for those farms involve like the nether and going there, which I can't do yet. I just don't have the equipment for it, but I can set out the shape of it and just leave the redstone bit until I have the materials like the quartz. So I think that's what we need to get started on and setting out that area. And then when I have enough wheat, I can then make the mud bricks and continue with the house. But you can kind of see the idea, a two-story house. I have a idea for a trim of cobblestone or something around the edge, just to make it look a bit nicer. The second floor going to be mainly mud bricks and is it not diorite, granite. And then I have the cliff that I was talking about last time, which is what I settled on. Then I was thinking a pathway along this way to get to the second floor or to lead up to the top of the cliff. Just a quick way up and down around the house. So yeah, I'm gonna start getting everything else organized and I will be back after that. So let's go. So I was getting set up to go into the mines to get the iron that I need, and my tree spawned with bees, which I have been setting up a bunch of flowers beside the bees or beside the trees so they could spawn the bees. And I think yeah, there's another beehive here, but I've been planting these around because I do want a lot of honeycomb to make candles. Oh, there's another one. So I'm gonna have a load of bees eventually, and I think I might make that into one of the farms, which might be the one I set up or start setting up this time because it doesn't require as much like redstone stuff. It's a lot easier to set up. So I'm gonna do that and I will continue with what I was doing originally. Yeah. Okay, I'm back from mining and getting all my stuff, and I will set up the farm momentarily, but I've gotten more kelp, got a lot of iron now, and a lot of copper, which I will need to make armor at some stage. More kelp for this, and I also thought for the farm, bone meal, which is a lot safer than killing skeletons, but it will take a lot of kelp, which is lucky we're in the ocean. Very lucky. So I'm going to spend a good while getting a bunch of bone meal and then growing out this farm and hopefully getting a lot more seeds and bringing it higher up towards the house, which I've also gone back in and added this cobblestone trim I was talking about, since it looks nice and I needed something down. Now, I think this floor needs to be 1 or 2 blocks higher, and then I can add the roof to it, and then we should have enough wheat at that stage to start the floor or the walls to the floor. So I'm going to spend a good bit of time doing that, and then I will be back to lay out the farm and explain how it's going to work. So let's go. Okay, I have been an idiot. I've been working on the farm here and coming in and bone mealing and getting up some wheat. And I was thinking, oh yeah, getting the bone meal through my thing, that's such a great idea. And then I was like, I'm using the wheat so I can do mud. So I'll have to get a new food source. And then it clicked to me, what is the one thing that is a great food source in the ocean and also happens to drop bones in bedrock at least? Yeah, there's loads of fish. Like, they do drop bones when killed on some occasions. Let me, I get back here. Okay, that one didn't, but they do, and it will make it so much easier than spending ages getting kelp to put in a, what's it called? A composter to get like 10 pieces of bone meal from like 4 stacks. So I need to go fishing, which I can't believe I completely forgot about that. And it's only when I got low on food and I thought, oh, I'll start fishing to get food. Fish drop bones. How that slipped past me, I don't know. So that's what I'm going to start doing now instead of composting. So I'm less of an idiot. Okay, so the farm is coming along nicely. Yeah, getting the bones from the fish. I have 23 fish. I got so much more than I would have bone mealing however much kelp I had. So I'm gonna start cooking this and continue making fuel. And I have gone up and I have set up this area down here. Very basic stuff. Definitely nowhere near a farm, but the idea is to take the beehives and put them along in here, and then I'll need another layer of grass along out here with the flowers. I'm gonna have this grass block be hoppers leading to a chest, and this is going to be observers, and up here are going to be dispensers, or the other way around, one or other, just so I can put shears in it and it should produce as much honeycomb as I will ever need, especially when I start using the copper here, which I have been going around and getting a good bit of honey whenever I see the hives full. So I've over half a stack now, which is nice. Done work on the house now that we have a good bit more wheat cooking up. So that has me with this starting layer here, which I'm going to go forward and finish that off, and then we can get into detailing the inside and outside of the house properly next time. But that is kind of everything I've done. Did some work on the house, expanded the farm a bit, which I do intend to bring up to about here, or bring it up this like slight hill area. Might have to flatten it out a bit more over there. But I just want a big wheat field here. Then build the few farms we need. I think we need an XP farm or a mob farm, which will make getting the bones a lot easier, which I might start that next time and set that out over the ocean there. And then work towards getting obsidian so we can go to the nether, and then we can work on all the automatic farms I will need for like down here. And I'm thinking this part of the island for all the farming stuff, like the sugarcane farm or a bone meal farm or the honeycomb farm or just whatever farms I decide I need in the future. So yeah, that is this part, and I will see yous all later. Goodbye.